evening, and welcome to Motivational Monday with me, your girl, Jackie O. Tonight, it is all about the flashbacks. Tonight is our last show for the season before our new season next year in January. And we are going to be showing 4 clips from different shows in our past that are absolutely amazing. Let me tell you, it was really hard picking which clips that I was going to show on this evening, but I know that you are going to really enjoy the ones that we did select. And because we were not able to select all of them like we wanted to and have just a real flashback, we are going to be, for the rest of this year, we're going to be creating reels as well as showing different clips from our past shows so you can see where we came from 4 years ago. I cannot believe that it has been a little over 4 years since we started Motivational Monday with Jackie O. We had no idea of what we were doing. We just jumped out and we did it. There was really not a plan. There was really not a business plan or a strategy. It was just an idea that came to mind. I reached out to one of my friends, asked her if she could help me with it, and she did. And here we are with Motivational Monday with Jackie O. So I wanted to share a little bit with you before we get into our flashback and our going down memory lane about Jackie O, the brand. Jackie O is a wellness brand. It is all about helping you to think well and to live well. Under our brand is our skincare line, the Glow Collection by Jackie O, which is an all natural skincare line. We also have our brand new coloring book, Oh Girl Yes. This is a hardcover 80-page coloring book that is filled with coloring pages, affirmations, scriptures on rest, and self-care activities. Let me tell you, this book has been flying off the shelf. You can purchase it on our website at jackieo.com. And when you purchase this book, it will also be an autographed copy. We will autograph it for you, as well as you'll receive some coloring pencils to go along with it so you don't have to run out and get any coloring pencils. We thought of everything. You also can purchase it on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. But again, the great thing about purchasing it on our website is we will autograph the copy for you, and you will also get the coloring pencils as well. As well as underneath our brand is our brand new nonprofit, which is called Mommy Knit. Mommy Knit is for every stage of mommyhood. It doesn't matter if you're a grandmother, if you, like me, if you are transitioning, you're an empty nester, like me again, we have you covered. And so that will be starting January of 2025. We're very excited about that. We're working on some programs right now so that we will be able to roll everything out in January for Mommy Knit. And also under the Jackie O brand is Motivational Monday with Jackie O. Motivational Monday with Jackie O is a 2-time Telly Award winning show. Yeah, a 2-time Telly Award winning show. Again, never in my wildest dreams that I even think that we would be here at this point. And next year will be 5 years that we have been doing Motivational Monday with Jackie O. We are an international show. We have been in the homes of many overseas, as well as we have had guests that have graced our show from Ghana, from Japan, from Germany, from the Philippines, and let's see, Kuwait. We have had, and Paris. How can I forget Paris? Oh my God. And how can I forget? Um, oh my God, how can I forget? Portugal. Portugal. We have also had a guest from Portugal. We have had women from all over that have watched our show. And so we are grateful that we can consider ourselves an international show. So thank you, because we could not have done it without you, our viewing audience, and we could not have done it without our special guest. each and every guest that was on our show for the past 4.5 years has been more than amazing. When it came down to selecting who we were going to show on tonight, it was really difficult. It was really difficult because we've had some really great guests. So, what we decided to do is for the rest of the year, we'll be showing reels and showing different clips. We'll be still coming on Mondays, but it'll be reruns of our past shows. And some of the shows we will not be able to show from the very beginning because they're a little fuzzy. You know, we started out with not such great equipment, but as we have grown, we have been able to invest in better equipment. So we'll be showing you what we can from our past shows. So tonight, again, we're going to be showcasing 4 different clips. They're about 10 minutes long, about 10 minutes. We also have a game show. We did a not so newlywed game show where Dr. Delvena Thomas, who is a board certified psychiatrist out in South Florida, she was the host, and that was super funny and super fun. We also included that in there too, just for some laughs to break it up. So this will be a commercial-free show on this evening, and we're just going to hop right in and go from one to the next of the shows. But again, thank you so much. And we hope you enjoy as we enjoy going down memory lane with 4 of our most memorable women entrepreneurs and guests who was on our show. So until next year, we pray that you finish the rest of the year out strong. You continue to support us. We would really love your support. We'll be back in 2025 with new things, new guests, and all things new in the brand new year. And we're very excited about that. So until then, we'll still be around. We'll still be around. We'll still be posting our videos and we'll still be posting reels as we stated. But tonight is our last night for our live show. So I can't say again, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for all that you have done. And thank you all for being such great supporters of Motivational Monday with Jacquie O. I want to tell everyone how I came to know of Violet. So probably, I think 3 weeks ago, I was watching you and you were talking about shipping. And then you were just answering questions from your audience. You had a live audience and I was watching. And I was like, oh my gosh, she is so full of energy. She is the woman. And I need to have her a Motivational Monday. And you gave so much good information. And you and I have our businesses are really, really similar. That you do skincare, I do skincare, organic, and all of that. But, I'm like, hey, why can't I have someone on my show that does the exact same thing as me? And we talk, together and chop it up, as they say. So I wanted to talk to you today just to find out, how did you get started? What was your why and why you started this skincare business, and for it also to be an organic and raw skincare business?
Okay, so I started Skin Gourmet. Skin Gourmet is handmade skincare sourced from the wilds of Ghana, and it's so pure that you can eat it. So I started Skin Gourmet in 2014, and the reason was because because we have a season here called Hamatan, where my lips would get really dry, and every couple of years they'll split right in the middle. And this one year it got so bad, and I couldn't find any remedy, even though I just came from the States with different creams. And so my friend was like, yo, just do shea butter. I was like, shea butter, just shea butter? So after using the shea butter, I was like, wow, okay, 3 days, no scarring, nothing. So I started looking into my creams and looking at the ingredients in them. And I realized that, a lot of this stuff is to make me buy, not necessarily because it's good for my skin. And when I say that, I mean things like scents, textures, preservatives. These are all marketing ploys. It's not actually to benefit my skin. So I came up with my first formulation, and I had like 3 containers. I started with 145 Ghana cedis, which is like 145 divided by 6. Is how much you would know. Very, very little capital.
Okay.
And my formulas were not the best. I put in my wardrobe and I went to church and I said, God, you see my wardrobe. Give me a company. And, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you're not really giving him much to work with. But, the same thing he did with the fish and bread, he's been able to multiply. And so essentially the idea of Skin Gourmet and everything about Skin Gourmet is inspired by God. And my why is it's the idea of being able to touch lives and to also give something back to Ghana, at the same time ensuring that I am not ripping off the customer by giving them something that is less than the quality that I enjoy here.
Yeah, I like that. And when you were saying, okay, God, you see what I have, you see what I'm working with. And he tells us too, that if we just have the faith, the size of a mustard seed, you know what I'm saying? Like we can tell the mountain to move from here to there, like all over, right?
Exactly.
And so if we just make that one step, it doesn't matter what it is. If we just take that step of faith and step out, then he will be right there and he will be with us in it. And he also tells us that if he gives you the vision, he's going to make the provision. So he's going to open up the doors, girl. He's going to give you the favor, everything you need to get it done. And I'm a witness of that.
and I love that, we can talk about this on the show, because I feel like a lot of people, they are afraid to make the move. But I found that if your intention is good and your motive is right, your motive needs to be right. You can't be doing it like, if it's about you, then you have to check your motive.
That's right.
It has to be about other people, and it has to be something that's always giving back. So it has to be basically aligned with God. Once it is, if you move, you meet you there. He's probably even there already, just waiting for you.
Just waiting for you to come. Girl, I like it. You're just pushing. You are right. You know what? We talked about this. I don't know if it was this Sunday or this past Sunday in church. And that's what we talked about, being aligned with God. And when you're aligned with him, then he will do everything. And that's like your business. So you're aligned with him. And I know on the live that I was on with you, you talked about how now your products are all over. They're not just in Ghana. They're here in the US. They're in Europe. Tell us about that.
Well, you see, it's really interesting, because I never even imagined that these 3 containers in my wardrobe would end up going almost everywhere. And I think, again, I can't take the credit for it. It's very difficult for me to explain it, but I always tell people I feel like I live miracle to miracle. So I don't really, it's not as if I can tell you, oh, I had this strategy and I went in like this, I went in like that. I have made mistakes. Most of the time, I don't even know what I'm doing. I pray about it. Sometimes you might make a mistake, but if I make a mistake, it's because I had to learn something from it. I learn from it. I pick it up. I try again. I don't give up. And I just make sure also that the product is flawless, so that wherever it is that it's going, it's for all skin types. It's for everybody. And it's everybody getting to experience a little bit of Ghana in its best form.
Yeah, I like that. I absolutely love that. And I like how you are and like you said, you are doing it for others, not for yourself, not for you to get all the gain and the glory, but for God to get the glory, but in the process that you are helping other people. And that really matters, is that we are to be there to serve others and to help others, and your products do just that, because here you have products that you can put on your skin and eat. Like, how many products can that happen? Not many. Go. Hey guys, oh my God, it is Friday. Friday. I think Friday is party day, right, Nina?
Yes, it is.
Like, we've had this long week and oh my gosh, it is absolutely crazy. So let me get us all going here on my Facebook page.
Yeah, I see it right now.
Yes, we are live now, so you can share it to your page. So guys, listen, this is not a scheduled type, this is just an impromptu. We thought we'd jump on here really quickly, do something different, do a little promo, give you a taste of what's going to happen on Monday with Nina. Oh my gosh, I am so excited to have you with us, Nina.
I'm so excited to.
Yes. Nina, guys, Nina is all the way in the Philippines. So it is like what, 8 a.m., 7 a.m. there?
Oh, it's 10 a.m. already.
It's 9,
Early.
9 a.m. So you're just getting your day started, and
Yes.
I'm wrapping up, going to bed shortly. But we wanted to, again, we just wanted to hop on, do a quick impromptu chat with Nina so you can meet her, because I'm telling you, she is going to be bringing the thunder on Monday night for Motivational Monday. Nina, tell us a little bit about you. Give us a little bio and tell us what you're going to be talking about.
Okay, so I'm actually only 21 years old. So I'm currently studying biology. So it's a pre-med course, and I am also a new entrepreneur, budding entrepreneur, and a wellness enthusiast. So my passion is to help people to find their voice, ditch the fixed mindset, and help them become the best version of themselves so that they can also build an online presence, a scroll stopping online presence. And on Monday, I will be talking about pushing through challenges in businesses. So yeah.
Oh, wow. You know, when you told me that you're going to be talking about pushing through, I was like, oh, this is absolutely amazing, because we've been talking about pushing through probably for the last couple of weeks. And to have like a totally different generation, because you're a different generation than me. So you're 21, I'm 52. And just to hear you say pushing through the challenges, because we know sometimes younger people, especially in this age that we're in, everything is instant. Everybody wants it to happen right away. And then when things happen, what happens, you know, they stop. But to hear a young person that is in college, has a business, and saying to push through when they have challenges, I'm like, come on, girl. Give us the word. Give us the word.
Yeah, so I agree that everything in our generation is always instant, and it's almost as if we're looking for instant gratification all the time. And um I don't think that it's not necessarily that we are not wanting to put in the work, but it's more of um just wanting to have results right away.
Yes.
So when challenges come and we are faced with adversity, our tendency is to just fall apart maybe, or stop right away,
Mhm.
instead of thinking of solutions to push through those challenges, because it's kind of hard for us to what's the term, it's hard for us to face them head on,
Okay.
especially when everything is already given to us as we were growing up. So something
Yeah.
like that.
So basically, everything was given, and you really didn't have to work for a lot of things and
Yeah.
earn it, you
Yeah.
know, as they say. Because I know when we were coming up, when we're talking about earning things, we did chores to earn allowances, and or just to earn different things like privileges to go different places. If you didn't make your bed up, you're not going anywhere. You know, you're
Yeah.
staying
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
home, those type of things. So yeah, I totally understand where you're saying that, you know, the younger generation, they want it now. And I also kind of think, not just, and we're not going to give everything away, guys, so, but I think too, not just the younger generation, even I think us, because just the environment that we're in now, people just want things like right now, like microwave popcorn, pop pop pop, done, you know. So yeah, that's really good. Well, Nina, okay, tell us what else do you want to tell us for Monday, because we don't want to give them all the goods tonight. We want them to come back and watch.
Okay. So Actually, my brand or my business on social media is more of teaching people how to build their brand and how to create content on their for their business on social media. So I will be touching on a little bit about that. So if you guys have problems with establishing your brand and creating content that's aligned with your brand, then you might not want to miss the Monday session.
Yes, yes. We've already had some people say, because I told them that you do branding, and they were like, oh, yes, we need to be on. So y'all heard it from Nina herself. We are going to be talking about pushing through, and we're going to be talking about some branding. And so let's not let the age and the number stop you guys, because she is full of knowledge, and really she's going to be sharing some really good information that I believe will help all of us, the young and the old. So be sure you tune in Monday, Motivational Monday. That is going to be this coming Monday, November the 23rd at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time here in the States. And in the Philippines, it will be at 9 a.m., correct? All right, 9 a.m. So y'all, let's all join in. Let's show Nina some love on Monday night. Invite your friends, share this information. Hop on, share the page onto your pages. And we cannot wait to hear what she has to say on Monday. All right, Nina, do you have anything else you want to say?
That's it. I don't want to give away too much.
Yes, girl, we don't want to give them too much. Okay, guys, well, listen, we hope that you have an amazing weekend. You guys stay safe, and we will see you on Monday night for Motivational Monday with Jackie O. Good night.
See you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Because you stuck with it, you are thugging it out, you are growing, you're growing your presence organically, and that's what you have to do. And a lot of people can't do that. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of organization, being structured, and also just resilience, and being okay with knowing that everything ain't going to be popular on social media. So,
Right.
and we have to do that, because if your message gets to one person, that's one person who needed the message, and God will ensure it travels from place to place, country to country, state to state, continent to continent. I'm a firm believer in that. So kudos to you, not to we, it's all been you.
Well, thank you so much. And you are absolutely right, because we have been global. We have had women from all over the world that have been our guests, that watch our show. So yes, God is so good. He's absolutely so good. So y'all, if you are ready, we are getting ready to start our show. And right after this commercial, you will meet our fabulous couples, and we'll be ready for the Newlywed, Not So Newlywed game.
What has your husband been doing in the bedroom lately? Groaning, grunting, or griping? What has your husband been doing in the bedroom lately? Groaning, grunting, or griping?
Take a drink on that one, didn't you?
Yeah, no kidding. I don't drink either.
Do you?
There's change, throughout the course of the.
That's right.
Hold on to your everything. If a camera crew sneaked into the bedroom, would they say the movie is called 60-Second Workout, Pee-wee's Playhouse, or Ripley's Believe It or Not?
Like Pee-wee Herman, Pee-wee's Playhouse?
Like Pee-wee Playhouse. Like Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Again, Dr. Cheri, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jackie O. It is a pleasure to be here again.
Yes, ma'am. It's a pleasure to have you. So you all, we're going to again hop right into this show to this evening. Again, our topic is It Still Takes a Village. And we're going to be talking about that. Like, What is the village? Who is the village? Why is the village important? Why is the village still important beyond the stage? And when we say beyond the stage, we mean beyond the stage of high school, beyond the stage of college. Why is our villages so important in the raising of our children? So, Dr. Cheri, when we talk about it still takes a village to raise our children, it still takes a village, that whole phrase, where did that phrase originate from?
Wow, not Dr. Jackie, but maybe Dr. Jackie. Well, Jackie, oh, you're going to hit us from the hip going right at the beginning. That's a great question. Sometimes we utilize terms and we don't even have an idea what the origin is. We formulate our meanings to it. So that is a great start. That is a great way to start this. And the term "it takes a village to raise a child" is the whole sentence or the whole phrase.
Mm-hmm.
That's an African proverb, and this proverb was developed, or what it actually means is that it takes the entire village, everyone around us, to raise a child, to ensure a child is safe, to ensure a child is educated, to ensure a child is ready for the world. And guess what? That child becomes an adult and becomes part of somebody else's village as well. So this is where the phrase comes from, that old African proverb that is still well and alive in some places. But that's why we're here today, to make sure we know that it still takes a village.
Absolutely. It still takes a village. And I really agree with what you were saying about a lot of times we have phrases that we use and we have no clue of what they mean. But this particular phrase, "it takes a village," it still takes a village. However we want to word it about taking a village, it has true meaning and true roots to it. And so we really want to dive into that today as well. And so what do you mean, or what do we mean when we say it takes a village to raise a child? Kind of give us a little bit more detail about what does that mean?
Okay. Well, just as I mentioned, is the African proverb. It takes a village to raise a child. To me, and in general, I would say that means that we don't give up on children, that we know that we're here to support children. And when I say children, I am referring to everybody's child, the entire village's child, your community's children. So I would like us to think back to when we were growing up. And if it did not happen to you, but even when your parents were growing up, who were the people who were there to support the families or your family when you were going to school, when you were going to church, when you were learning to be a lady, when you were learning to be a gentleman, and so on? It generally was either your immediate family or extended family, whether they were relatives or whether they were neighbors. So with that said, the community got together, the community surrounded families, the community helped each other to shape what was going on in the community. And we started with children. So with that said, years ago, as you know, when I completed my doctorate, there were some elements missing. And I want to say that Jackie O is an international show. And with that being so, we're hitting audiences in the United States, in the Caribbean, in Asia, in Africa, and so on. So I want you to know that this conversation is not related to one region or one place. But when I started to pursue my doctorate, one of the focuses that I had, or the foci that I had, was bringing education, or rather bringing parents back into education, bringing parents back into being involved in what was going on, and then bringing the community back in. So I titled it Still Takes a Village, in order for them to really understand that although this happened in the past, hey guys, It's the same message, it's the same mantra, and it is the same expectation. We need all hands on deck to support our children.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. And I like about the village. That was going to be our next question of who is the village. And the village encompasses a lot of people. A lot of people. When I think about the village, and even when I think back when I was growing up, we had a village. It's very different in these days and times. And we'll talk about that. And again, like you said, not in all areas, but in some areas it's very different. It doesn't look like it looked when we were coming up. And I remember that we had a neighbor that told on us all the time, and specifically me. You know, I get into a little things here and there, but she told on me one time of walking home. And I was not supposed to walk home from school that particular day, or any day. I was not supposed to walk home. And she told on me. And I was just thinking, why is this lady in my business? Why is she telling my parents that I'm walking home from school? But she did. And I got in trouble. But I said that to say, because at that time, our neighbors, everyone was involved in the village, right? They were involved in helping to raise us. They had our best interests at heart. They were looking out for our well-being. It could have been the person that ran the corner store. Every time you went into the corner store, it was that same gentleman, same lady giving you a piece of advice. Your mailman. I mean, anyone, the maintenance worker at your school, all of these people, they make up this village. And a lot of times we don't look at them as that, because we might think, oh, well, they're not really the parent, they're not really the teacher. But anyone that comes in contact with our children has a positive impact on our children. I believe that they are that village. The pastors, all of these people help make up the village, for our children and helping to raise our children. So I like how you brought that point out about it's not just the parents. It is a community thing.
Absolutely, Jackie. And I like the fact how you even share that example, because in your heart of hearts, when that lady told on you, she told on you because
she had my best interest at heart.
Right. It was about safety. It was
Yeah.
about safety. When you probably really didn't get in trouble, but you got, told or spoken to in a manner that they had to reiterate or reinforce the importance of one, following rules and why rules are in place, and how folks are all, this is one that I still look at and I respect today. Folks are always watching.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
watching for one reason or another, some good and some not so good. But that lady was there to protect you from those who are watching in the instances when there are people who are not that great, who could have possibly harmed you. Obviously, it didn't occur, but that's one of the lessons we learned from the village, that everybody is there to support us, even if you don't see them.
Even if you don't see them, you are absolutely right. People are always watching. And that was going to be our next question of the importance of that village. And what are some of the benefits of having a good, strong village in place?
Well, Jackie, before I answer that, I would just like to touch back on what you talked about, and then I'll ask you to repeat that question for
Yeah.
me. But I wanted to reaffirm and talk about who our village is, and or rather who our village members are.
Mhm.
So when I talk about a village, or when I say it still takes a village, we're talking about your friends can be part of your village as well. And I'm even talking to the young students, students in elementary school, middle school, and high school. Your village starts with your friends around you when we're looking outside of your home.
Mhm.
Then we're looking at your teachers, the counselors, everybody within that school. And I am so glad that you even pointed out, or that you took time to point out, the maintenance gentleman or woman at school, the cafeteria lady.
Yes.
These people have a heart. They're doing this job not because it pays them all the riches in the world. They're there for a reason. And sometimes that is one way that they're able to mentor students and provide guidance and support and safety to our children when we send our children to school. So again, our village starts at home, their extended family, their folks, like you said, right within the community, our schools, and then, of course, the extension of the businesses in the community. Now, Jacquie, repeat that question to me one more time.
The importance. What is the importance of having that village? What are some of we
Okay.
talked about the importance, but like, what are some of the benefits, I guess?
I'm Dr. Gloria Richard Davis. I'm a fertility specialist. I also specialize in perimenopause, menopausal care, along with other women health specialty at UMS. Great. From the beginning of treatment, the information that I gather from the patient is really used to develop a management plan that is compassionate, patient-centered, and comprehensive. I am an advocate of patient education because I think it's important for the patient to understand what their problem is and what the options are for them to be empowered in making that healthcare decision. I work with them as a partner in educating them and then listening to what they really want and how do we get to that endpoint that they want. The reason why I became a physician was to help people. But we get as much gratification from taking care of patients as the patients do in receiving care. And it always amazes me how much it really means to me to do a good job with my patients and to feel like we've done everything possible for them at the end of those visits.
Dr. Gloria Richard Davis currently serves as Executive Director for the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, DDEI. She is the Director of Reproductive Endocrinology and Infertility in the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology, and has been the Medical Director at the University of Arkansas Medical Sciences since 2013. As Executive Director for DDEI, she works directly with leadership at UAMS across 5 professional colleges and graduate studies, statewide and nationally, with a focus on increasing diversity in our workplace, creating a more inclusive environment, and elimination of health disparities in quest of health equity. As Division Director, she developed a comprehensive full-service fertility service from inception. Dr. Richard Davis has extensive experience and is board certified in both reproductive endocrinology and infertility and obstetrics and gynecology. Dr. Richard Davis is an oral board examiner for the American Board of Obstetrics and Gynecology. She has served and currently serves in leadership positions in numerous professional organizations. Her many years of research and active interest include health disparities, menopausal health, breast cancer in women of color, female sexual dysfunction, uterine fibroids, ovulation induction, reproduction endocrine disruptors, and assisted reproductive technologies. Most recently, she led the development of UAMS culinary medicine program utilizing the food as medicine curriculum, providing education to health professionals, community education, and research. Please help us welcome to our virtual stage, Dr. Gloria Richard Davis. Well,
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you, Dr. Richard?
I am excellent. How are you, Jacquie?
Yes, ma'am, I am doing well. Thank you so much for coming back with us on this evening, this special evening, to continue our conversation on the M word.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. So we have already we talked about on, as I stated earlier, on Monday, all of the different things, all things menopause. And so tonight we are going to be talking about two topics that are really some hot topics that we do not discuss quite, quite often rather. And the first one, we're going to just dive right into this, talking about the sexual dysfunction that women experience when they are going through menopause. So let's talk about that from the bedroom to the boardroom. That's
I love that. I love that. Okay.
yes, ma'am. And what is happening in the bedroom with women and menopause? Tell us, Dr. Richard, how does sex, what happens after menopause? what
Changes.
happens to us?
What changes? Well,
Yes.
one of the things that changes when we go through menopause, our ovaries produce estrogen, which estrogen is really a critical hormone for women because so many of our organs and tissue is estrogen sensitive. It's estrogen dependent, right? And so our reproductive organs, to include our vaginal tissue, our bladder, is very much estrogen dependent. So when you lose that estrogen, what you start to experience is some thinning and dryness of that vaginal tissue, right? So of course, when you're engaging in intercourse, you need lubrication. And so you can use artificial lubricants, whether it is a moisturizer or a lubricant, and that helps to ease some of the dryness or discomfort that's associated with the dryness, but it doesn't reverse the thinning of the vaginal tissue. And that vaginal tissue is intended to be sort of, we say with rugae, with folds, right? And you think about it, it's tough tissue. It's intended to take a pounding, right?
Right.
And so literally.
Yeah.
And so when it thins, it's not as healthy. The integrity is not as great. And so there may be some pain with intercourse as well.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, if you have pain with intercourse, then you tend to not be as interested in engaging.
Right, right. It's not as, we're all adults on here tonight, so it's not as pleasurable.
Yes,
when,
exactly right.
yeah, when you are going through that. I saw that a study that was by the Hopkins Medicine, it showed that half of women in their 50s continue to have intercourse. However, by their 70s, only 27% are still having intercourse. So, and we know that that helps connect the partners, that intimacy, the intercourse. What could be some other ways that they could have that connection, when you can't have intercourse?
Absolutely. I mean, there are certainly multitudes of ways in which we, especially as women, right? We feel connected to our partners emotionally. And a lot of times that's through engaging in activities that we enjoy. If my husband prepares me a great meal,
Yeah.
I'm feeling real close to him, right?
Yeah.
Or a dinner out. So you can have date nights, look at activities that you both enjoy doing, staying physically active. And I do want to talk about that because, I talked about the changes that menopause causes in terms of our vaginal mucosa, but our sexual health is not just about hormones. It's about how we feel, our quality of life, our health. It's really all tied into that. And if you are healthy and active, then you are more likely to stay engaged sexually, right? And that holds true for your partner as well.
Right.
So, we haven't talked about the men and sexual dysfunction, but erectile dysfunction is very common as men get older. And if they have other chronic diseases like hypertension and diabetes, they're more likely to have erectile dysfunction.
Yeah.
So staying healthy, managing chronic disease, whether you're a woman or a man, is critical to your sex life.
Mm-hmm. And listen, let me tell you. So my parents, we just gave them a birthday party. My father turned 80 in February and my mom turned 75 in January. So we gave them a party together. So their speech at the end was just what you just stated. So my father, so every chance they get, you know, they want people to know that they are still alive and well. But my father shared that same thing about taking care of yourself, you know, the lifestyle that you lead and being active. And, you know, he was like, yeah, we still have desires. And, you know, of course, us, the children, are like, we really don't want to hear that. That is true, what you just said, because they said it themselves at 80 and 75.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you need the stamina, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I like this information as well that you sent to me, and I'm going to read this where it says sexual dysfunctions are highly prevalent, affecting about 43% of women and 31% of men. Hyperactive sexual desire disorder has been reported in approximately 30% of women and 15% of men in population-based studies, and is associated with a wide variety of medical and psychological causes.
Mhm.
Those are some pretty high numbers.
They are high numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, again, because we're very complex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Especially women. There's so many things that affects our sexual interest, our sexual desire. We talk about health, stress. If
Right.
you have a multitude of things, I have this graphic which shows it's like instrument panels, right? And for the woman's sexual interest to occur, you have all these different buttons, right?
Mm.
It's, you know, we don't compartmentalize very well. So if I have a lot of stuff going on at work, I'm busy, my brain is still running, the kids are needing something, my parents are needing something else, it's hard for me to quiet down
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
focus, right,
Mhm.
on sex. So that's one of the things that we know creates some sexual dysfunction or reduction in desire. So that's one of the first things that we talk about is, you know, how's your relationship? Is there conflict? Are there other things going on from a psychosocial perspective?
Mhm.
We typically will look at hormonal levels. I talked about the lack of estrogen. Well, one of the things that for menopausal women, we can replace estrogen, we can replace progesterone. So if that were the only thing, that could be handled through replacement therapy.
Mhm.
But you have to make sure that there aren't the other issues. And then I mentioned for the men, diabetes. Well, diabetes affects our small vessels. And so when we talk about vascular supply to tissues, like even the clitoris, to the vagina, right? If you have damage to those vascular structures, those vessels, then you may not be getting all the vascular, the engorgement, right, that you should. And then the last thing I'm going to say is one of the things, even in younger women, we talk about is allowing time for foreplay, allowing that time for your body to go through those normal changes that it needs to go through so
Mhm.
that you don't have pain with intercourse, because pain is a great aversion, right?
Josselyne Herman Saccio is an esteemed coach with over 3 decades of expertise in the transformative practice known as the art of being unmessable with. Throughout her illustrious career, she has guided and mentored an impressive count of over 200,000 individuals. Josselyne's diverse portfolio encompasses her role as an author, entrepreneur, and even former chart-topping pop star. In addition, she is the founder of a nonprofit organization as well as a devoted wife and mother to 3 children. Josselyne's unwavering dedication lies in empowering individuals to manifest their dreams in the present rather than waiting for an elusive someday. Her unwavering commitment to personal growth enables her clients to cultivate an unshakable resilience, enabling them to remain unflappable in the face of life's challenges. Please help us welcome Josselyne Herman Saccio. Hello.
Hello. I want that intro. I'm like, oh my God, what a great intro. You guys are amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No wonder you have a telly.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And we are honored that you are here with us on this evening, Josselyne. So again, welcome to Motivational Monday.
Thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. We scheduled it a while ago, so I'm thrilled.
Oh, I know. So yes. And again, we've already introduced you, but I want you to tell us a little bit more because you are just absolutely phenomenal. So share with us a little bit more about what you're up to now, as well as like the new item that you just checked off your bucket list.
Yes, really. Well, the new item that Jackie's referring to is I've had a lifelong dream since I was 16 years old. So that's 40 years. I've been dreaming of someday moving to Paris, and I just did it this year in May. I was leading a course actually that I designed called The Foundation for Being Unmessable with last November. And I'm talking to people about there is no someday. This is it right now. Someday is an illusion. And I realized that I had a someday dream and I walk my talk. So the moment I saw that blind spot, I talked to my husband. I was like, okay, are we doing this? And by when are we doing it? And we set a date and took the actions, and it all just kind of fell together. So it is a dream come true, I have to say.
Yeah. That is an absolutely dream come true. So listen, I'm going to be like you when I grow up and just, follow.
Why not?
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, life is short and, shorter than we realize sometimes, and we have a lot of some days. I was recently speaking at a conference in San Diego, and I asked people, I was like, what are your someday dreams? And there were so many. It's like, someday I'm going to start a business. Someday I'm going to move to blah, blah, blah. Someday I'm going to take up golf. I mean, someday I'm going to lose 10 pounds, whatever the someday is. And I looked at them and I said, there is no someday. Look at your calendar. Tell me where it is. It doesn't exist. And I want to be around if it does exist, because a whole lot of stuff is going to happen on that day.
I know, right? And one of my colleagues, we were talking about that just today, about the someday and about just taking a step and just doing it scared. We may not have it all mapped out, but guess what? Let's just do it, right?
Yeah, or at least set a day, like a real day. Someday can be a real disempowering concept because it doesn't have you be in action in reality. So even if you set a date for 5 years from now, July 3rd, whatever, 5 years from 2028, then you'd be dealing with a real date. When people get engaged and they don't set a date, I'm like, you're engaged. You're not engaged to be married. You're engaged to be engaged in reality.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, Josselyne, we are going to, hop right into our show. And for those of you that are just joining us, welcome to our show tonight. I already told y'all it's going to be fire. It's going to be hot. And you already see these just couple of minutes in, it's going to be hot. So go ahead.
Look at our colors. Our colors are all like so hot. It's like pink and orange. Geez, like I don't think you can get much hotter.
You can't. You just can't. That's why I'm telling y'all the show is going to be hot. So go ahead and share this video to your social media platforms so that others will be able to watch and hear the information that we will be sharing tonight. Because with everything put aside, what we're going to be sharing tonight is going to be really life changing. And then you'll also get a chance to follow up with Josselyne, later if you need to, because she's going to be talking about her business and what she does. And so we're all about being whole. And that is our whole mission, is being whole. And so whole in all areas of our lives. And so tonight we're going to be talking about that. And as we talk about being unmessable with, I also just want to put this disclaimer in, is we're not saying that you're not going to go through anything. We're not saying that you're not going to have these challenges and ups and downs and valleys, low valleys and things like that. But what we're going to be talking about tonight is when you do encounter these challenges, guess what? You will have the tools that you need to where you just don't crumble. But you can still be standing firm in what you are doing. So that's what we're talking about tonight with Josselyne. Josselyne, I want to hop right into the show again and tell us, how did you come up with this great tagline of being unmessable with?
Well, I'll start at the beginning, right? Which was my first glimpse of what I'm calling unmessable with. And again, like you said, just to elaborate a little bit, being unmessable with doesn't mean being tough.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean like not having feelings or being impervious to, people or anything like that. It's not that at all. What I mean by being unmessable with is being able to create rather than react. Being able to stand in your vision and act from that place of vision and dream and, your raison d'etre, your purpose, rather than getting thrown, like you said, crumbling or getting hooked. There's so many things that happen or people that hook us. What if you were unhookable? That's what I mean by being unmessable with. And my first glimpse of that was actually when I was 11 years old. So my parents were separated. They were going to get divorced. And my mother did a transformative workshop. And she came out of that. First of all, she went in as a victim. It was like the big bad husband who was cheating on her and all this drama, right? And she went in at the effect of all of that, which is understandable. I mean, obviously, but she came out this force of nature. Like there was nothing that could mess with her, including my father, who was like the most messable component in her life. And she created a job and created a place to live under a certain amount of money, because he said, well, unless you get a place under this amount of money in this school district, you can't move back to New York, because we were living in California at the time. And she went, spent 2 weeks, met all the criteria, came back. He's like, I'm sure it didn't go well. And she's like, no, it's all handled. We're moving at the end of the month. And he was like, what? And I was like, who is this person? I didn't even recognize. So that was my first glimpse of that essence of being unmessable with, like being able to create something in your word and have it happen in reality very quickly.
Yeah.
So then flash forward, years later, I was in a transformative workshop in my early 20s, and I had a dream since I was 4 to be a singer, but I was messable with, and I had this limiting belief that you don't do your art as your career, which is, pretty valid. I mean, I have a lot of people that would agree with me and a lot of starving artists, right? But that